everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. So I know this has been requested so many times and I have tried to film this a few times, but I just wasn't happy with the quality or the way things looked. So it's really hard to film yourself doing your own hair just when you're doing quite intricate things. Now, I am a qualified hairdresser. I've been doing my own hair probably for about 4 or 5 years like this, and I wanted to try and do a video so that if you are thinking about doing this, just to give you a few ideas, tips and pointers about how to do it in a way that will be safe. So I don't recommend doing it unless you are a qualified hairdresser and you know how to use the chemicals that are involved, but I know what people are like. People will try and do their own hair. I've seen many horrific haircuts happening all over the internet right now, so I'm imagining there's a few bodge colours about to happen as well. Now, the foils that I use basically is just kitchen foil. It's very thin kitchen foil. It's really like the cheapest you can get your hands on, and for me that's just what works best. And all I do is I cut it into strips. I usually do about 50 to 60 pieces for a whole head. I've got about 40 here because I'm going to be doing half head, and that's how many I do. You also need a tail comb, so that is a comb with a point on the end. Okay, and then I've also got some like hairdressing bowls and brushes. So these are just cheap ones that I picked up off Amazon. They work pretty well. I'm not a fan of this brush, but it does the job. So I've got a couple of those. Now, when I highlight and low light my hair myself, I do 3 colours. I do a blonde, which is a bleach blonde, I do a red, and I do a brown. Both the red and the brown are just box dyes. So personally I go for L'Oreal. So this is the shade 415 Cassis, and it's just like a kind of like cool tone brown. I then go for 645, which is the Brooklyn Intense Copper Auburn, and that's kind of like my red tone that I go for. And then I do bleach, so I do a 6% peroxide bleach, which I make up with a blue powder. Now, it is important to remember that I am trained as a hairdresser. I don't necessarily recommend that you do this yourself at home using this same exact method. If you're not fully trained, you should always, you know, get a specialist to do your hair if you can do. If you can't, box dyes are probably the easiest thing to do. So when I colour my own hair and I'm creating my own bleach, I literally do a 50-50 half water, half cream peroxide, and that gives me a 6%, which only gives me a few levels of lift, but that is all I actually need to get my hair to the colour that I want it. So I always do the blonde first. I do that separately to the coloured pieces just because I want to make sure that my blonde placement is correct and that my colour pieces complement where my blonde sections are. The great thing about the type of colouring that I do is that it doesn't matter exactly how close to my roots I'm going to get. What you don't want is streakiness or lines. So basically, if you watch my technique, hopefully this may or may not help you, I don't know, but this is how I do it, how I have taught myself how to colour my own hair. So I'm just going to kind of take you through it, and yeah, you'll see what I do. Okay, so for me it's kind of like the right consistency when you can pick it up on the brush and it doesn't fall off, but it kind of looks like icing or like thick tooth, or like kind of like toothpaste maybe. So that's 2 parts bleach powder, 1 part peroxide and 1 part water. You then want your foils, so you want them really easily at hand. I've just got some conditioner here. Just have that to hand as well, because the fabulous thing about this is that you will get it all over your hands. You will get bleach burns unless you're wearing gloves. I can't do this with gloves. I've never been able to. They just never fit my hands. I've got small hands, unless you've got a really good pair of like rubber gloves, and I don't. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I've already kind of sectioned off the first part, and literally is just a case of taking a section from the back of your head and then pulling it forward. Now these are the first two bits that I always dye because I can very easily bring them round and I can see where I've dyed my hair before. So I can see that this section here has bleach on it and then this section doesn't. And I'm going to take my foil, put my tail comb underneath and create a shelf, and then I'm going to push it into the root section of my hair, and I'm going to tilt my head sideways, if you can see that. And then all I want to do is take my bleach powder, okay, and I'm going to use the edge of the brush mostly just to push in and the mirror in front of me so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I've left the end with no colour on it whatsoever because I am not going to go over that at all. Now you can use your tail comb to press into the foil to bend over the edge if it goes up past the root. Okay, and then literally you can fold it up like that. Use the comb to create creases in the foil so you can fold it into a smaller square. Now if you do want to practice this at home, you can do. You can practice it using like conditioner and a brush, but then basically that's your first foil in. Now usually because I'm doing about 6%, it's going to take about 30 minutes or so for that to develop. So we're just going to carry on and we're going to take some more sections around this side. Okay, so the next section I've taken is just kind of just above the ears. It's literally kind of like ear height, and all I've done is I've split the hair down the middle and pulled it to the front, and then as you can see I've got another section here at the back where I've got some root wreath growth. I've just pulled that section forward, and I'm going to do exactly the same again. Take my foil, fold it in half, tilt my head, and then obviously this gets more and more difficult the higher up your head you go, but because I've done this so many times, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm just going to move the camera up a little bit so you can see what I'm about to do, but this is, I suppose, one of the more complicated bits, but basically I'm going to kind of do the crown area back. So I'm going to actually, I always leave this section till last, but I'm going to take a section of hair that's like here, okay, and we're going to foil it, but we're going to foil it coming like this way. So we're going to literally weave the comb in and out, okay, let that fall flat. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to foil it, but we're going to do it coming forward. Okay, so I've ended up pretty much doing nearly a full head. I kind of got a bit carried away, but what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into the bathroom. I'm going to start lifting out some of the underneath ones, and then by the time I get to the top one should be done. For me, it doesn't matter too much about colour consistency. As long as it's not like a bright blonde, then I'm fine. Some of the underneath ones will be brighter than the top ones, but for me, because my hair is quite tonal and I put lots of different colours in, it actually helps add to that effect. So, it's my phone. Okay, and I've just finished just kind of getting the bleach out of my hair. All I've done is kind of just rinsed it under water and just giving it a really good rinse. So I'm just going to blast it dry now. Now obviously this point is going to look a bit crazy because it's got no conditioner in it. I've just bleached it, so it's going to be really super thirsty, and of course it's just fresh bleach, so it's going to look really strange compared to like my normal hair colour. So don't freak out at this point. This is how it's meant to look. Okay, so I've just dried it off, and obviously you can see I'm gonna now go through with all the other colours and pick out little bits in between and put them in. Basically, it's really easy. Just gonna do the same again. Okay, so I have a head filled with super amounts of tin foil now, lots and lots of small little low lights put through the blonde just to break it up. We'll see how this looks when it's done, and I've just kind of like dotted through the brown. Look at my hands. I've just dotted the brown through with my fingers to cover any like blend through the roots, and then just pulled that through with a comb, and that just helps blend and break up any lines that you get from the bleaching. So we'll see how that goes, but I literally have it all over my face. Okay, so I've just finished colouring my hair. It's like 12:20. I said I'd be still doing this at midnight, and I was. So basically it's done. It's all coloured. It's all back to how I normally have it, but longer. And yeah, I mean, I always hate it. I always hate having my hair coloured, and it's no different when I'm at home as to when I'm in a salon having it done. I always hate it when I first have it done, but once I have curled it and kind of let the colour settle, for me then it always just looks lovely. But yeah, once I've got it all sorted and it doesn't look like I've just coloured it, it'll all be beautiful. I may even go through it with the thinning scissors and just chop in a little bit of layering because it's looking quite heavy. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodnight, and I'll see you in the morning with my hair all beautifully curled and looking lovely, and you can get a proper idea of how it looks. Okay, so it's the next day and I have finished styling and colouring my hair. I've just actually filmed a video on how I curl my hair when I'm at home, so if you are interested in finding out a little bit about that, go and check it out. But basically, there you go, that is it all coloured. I am so happy with how this turned out. Last night, as you could see on my face, I hate it when I first coloured my hair. I always hate it. But as soon as I've curled it and you can see those beautiful colours coming through and how much it kind of like pulls together, yes, fabulous. I absolutely love the fact that I can do my own hair and create such beautiful looks. So just to kind of give you a little bit more of an overview of those colours coming through, it just looks like this. So pretty. I don't know if you can see that okay. Hopefully you can. But yeah, I love the fact that I can do my own hair. It makes my life so much easier, not having to go to like a hairdresser's or worry about the fact that we can't go to the hairdressers right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it wasn't too painful watching me try and colour my hair. It's not the easiest thing to film, but yeah, if you want to go and check out how I created this look and how I get so much volume and oomph into my hair, being that it is straight, just yeah, I'm going to try and upload both videos on the same day. But yeah, that's everything from me. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you all very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.